Okay, we are live. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy MM2K. I am here with Cold Blood. We're here for the main show. Cold Blood, how are you doing today, good brother?
Now that I went my frustrations off, much better.
See, that was a cool therapy session. That's what we had to do. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, like today, most of it is going to be PlayStation 5, or not PlayStation 5, just PlayStation period. It's the 30th year anniversary. And we want to talk about all of the generations, including this one. And we're going to talk about the future, what they need to do, what they need to stop doing, that they're, that they may be trying to do. What, you know what I'm saying? Just try to give you a peer into what a solid PlayStation future looks like. But before we got into that, there's definitely some shit that's happening on the PlayStation side that is agitating, right? And so we wanted to address that. We wanted to take the opportunity to address it before we go and talk about the previous generations, right? So Cold Blood mainly and we talked about our frustrations with this whole PSSR thing. So if you want to check that out, it's there for the members. If you're not a member, simply hit that join button, join us at the Foamy Homie level. And you'll get access to everything. And we do stuff that other content creators don't do. Like, we're forced by YouTube to make gifted memberships $5. We're forced by them to do that because YouTube wants their money. But if you're going to pay for your own subscription, it's actually cheaper. So if you get gifted a subscription and you're like, oh yeah, look at all this content and shit that's out here. We got the interviews. We still got Tim Dogs to release, and then we did Mags publicly. We just got a swath of members' content and stuff that's out there. So if you want to maintain your subscription, you actually save yourself money. So, that being said, let's see here. I want to make sure that hit that like button, y'all. Let's get to 10 likes. Y'all know how we do here. Let's get to 10 likes. And then also let me send this out on YouTube. It's not letting me create a post. Hold on. Okay. Win V. Cold Blood, what you been playing, bro? What you been trying to play over the weekend?
Trying to get the capture card to work. Like, really playing, bro?
Yeah.
Well, I tried Stalker since the new update, but it didn't think anything. So yeah, it stays on. I'm done with it until they fix it.
Oh wow.
Actually, I'm gonna start doing the whole trilogy of Stalker.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
In the hopes they fix that shit.
Yeah. I mean,
there's one thing.
Go ahead.
It's so petty of these devs to even have removed Russian from it in the PS4 version.
Yeah.
It's so damn petty.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that is the best part about Stalker, bro. It just adds to the atmosphere so much.
You don't like that John Jameson voice? Hello, I am here in Ukraine. I'm having a good time shooting monsters.
The English dub really makes it sound
Bruh,
so fucking corny.
you don't like that? You don't like the John Jameson
no.
voice?
No,
Yes.
and when I listen to Ukrainian, bro, it sounds to me like some hybrid ass language out of Polish, their own language, and Russian, bro. Like, it's such a mix of shit. I mean, I understand a lot of it since I am Russian.
Yeah.
But goddamn, it just doesn't feel right at all. Like, back in the day back in the day when I played it on PC with the Russian language, bro, that was the best, bro. That was the absolute peak of Stalker.
Wow. Dude, all you got to do is just like put on that John Jameson voice, man. Hello, yes. So there's an anomaly in the field over here. I first heard that voice. I said, hold on, what the fuck is that? No, this is not Stalker. This is Sticker.
Look, I can give them credit. At least they tried in the original Stalker to have some kind of accent. Yeah, it sounds fucking corny, but at least they try.
Yeah.
In Stalker 2, bro, nothing.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like I'm in a different fucking country at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's on you, Cold Blood. You got to get out of that mindset. Come over here and check out this anomaly. Yeah, I heard that, bro. I was done. Just scour the news real quick as people come in. Yeah, I'm looking at with Space Marine 2. Speaking of PlayStation, it's try Space Marine 2 with free PS Plus premium trial. Tier 3 members gets 2 hours. I think that's cool. That's cool. That's why I personally enjoy. I get to play Stalker buggy as fuck day and day because of Game Pass, but outside of these rare instances where they actually drop games day and date that I'm like, oh shit, I get to try it in Game Pass. I generally like PlayStation Plus more. I like it more because the trials mainly, and the games that are in there, I play them more than I play the Game Pass games. Not saying I get either or gets a whole bunch of use from me, but at least I'll play those ones more. So that's cool. Hit that like button as you guys come in. He says, yeah, where y'all? Were you talking? Hey, so to get into a little bit of what we were saying over in the other stream, Geek was over there rocking out with us while we were live, and he had a couple of questions. Or not a couple of questions, but he had a couple of comments. He said that 30th intro is fire. Now, Cold Blood, did you readjust your PlayStation and try to get that 30th, one of those old school 30th anniversary sounds or intros?
Yeah, but don't be celebrating that shit because it's gonna be gone soon.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's retarded, bro. That's just stupid. Like, what the fuck? Why are you making it and then say, oh yeah, now that we're done with celebrating, we're taking it away from you? Like, why?
I don't. PlayStation. What are we doing? Yeah. I mean, we are celebrating. We are celebrating the PlayStation, but I'm just saying, PlayStation. What are we doing? That should be permanent. What are we doing? Yeah, I haven't tried mine yet. So hopefully, we will. I'll get to try it. I'll enjoy it for a limited time only. What else did Geek say? Geek also talked about. He said you're playing PS4 era games. You're playing Uncharted 4 and Days Gone. Yeah, man, I really want to get back into Days Gone. I really do. Fun game. Really, game was overlooked. I mean, I didn't play it at release, so my ability to relate to those that are like, yeah, I understand why I got the low scores. I can't relate to it because I played it a year later. And by the time I played it, it was fine. And I was really shocked. I was really shocked at how much I enjoyed that game. I thought it was just going to be a Last of Us knockoff. You know what I mean? So I was really excited to see how well that's doing. Or how well of a game that was. So let's do it. We might as well. We're like almost 10 minutes in, or just about 10 minutes in. Let's do it. Let's talk about that nostalgia. Being that geek kicked it off. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4. We saw different stuff happening with the rollout of the PlayStation. I don't know if you remember Cold Blood, but I definitely remember where I was at when I first heard of PlayStation. I was sitting on the couch with my aunt, who I was staying with at the time. I think I was like in my early 20s or something like that. Or no, I could have been fresh out of high school. So I'm sitting there chilling with my aunt. And my aunt was like, "Oh, here's this PlayStation. What is this? This thing looks cool." Like the way that early PlayStation advertisements went, they made people that weren't gamers like seriously interested in that thing. And I'm sitting there thinking like, nah, I don't like the idea of my aunt trying to play video games, because if they try to cater to pop culture, then games are going to get watered down and get weak. So that was my first thing thinking about that PlayStation. It's like, nah, get that thing out of my face. And then I end up getting one, buying one for myself for Christmas. And I was playing NFL Game Day, I think it was. Yeah, and play. I never got into the Resident Evils or anything like that, but yeah, that was my first interaction with PlayStation, with the PS1. Cold Blood, you remember first time you heard about PlayStation, or the first time you got to play one, and what that was like?
For me, the first time was much later than most people probably, because back when it released, I was literally born. So yeah, so I didn't get to play it for a long time with the PS1 really.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, what, 2003?
Okay.
Maybe that's when I got one.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, bro, as a kid, anything was fucking amazing. So, playing Spider-Man and shit, bro, that looked like shit probably. Now when I look back at it, but goddamn, back then, oh my god.
But back then, oh yeah.
Just jumping around with Spider-Man and stuff, bruh. Oh my god. I was completely fucking hooked. Then I got some fucking kid games too and shit, but my most memorable game probably was probably Tomb Raider.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
Because Tomb Raider, that game just made me pull my hair out. Because I did not understand what the fuck I had to do. There was no guides or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you just wandered around everywhere trying to find where the fuck you have to go. Like, bro, experiences like that, you remember this shit. Mm-hmm. And that's what made the PS1 era probably so good, because most people just didn't spoil themselves and try to figure out shit.
Yeah.
That's why it felt so magical back then. Like now, if you get stuck for too long, bro, you just want a discount on your time and you just look up a fucking guide. Because at some point, it's really just wasting your fucking life away trying to find the fucking door where you have to go. But back then, bro, like, for days, for weeks, tried this one fucking game. I just tried to beat it and I couldn't. Because I did not understand what the hell I had to do. And I had a friend that was a little bit older than me. Even he could not figure it out.
Yeah.
So that should tell you how fucking hard it was. And Siphon Filter. I remember exactly the moment when you had to find the mines, and you had a fucking mine detector, but you didn't know you had that shit. Nobody told you to put it out. So you tried to literally go one step at a time, yeah, and try to get around this shit and die a million times doing so. Bro, I remember those moments because that shit, you ain't getting that in today's what do you call it, in today's ways of gaming, right? Like, most people just gonna be like, the fuck am I supposed to do here? They're just gonna ask Google real fast. Google gonna tell them.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
But like I said, it's a discount on your fucking lifetime. Let's be real. to have these guides.
Yeah, I mean, back in the days, man. Even like you said with the PlayStation 1, people couldn't just hop on the internet, hop on their phones, you know, and get the answers to shit, you know, like people had to look stuff up. That was the magic of games, you know. They didn't hold your hand all the time. So things are a little bit different now. So you said the first game that like really made you go, wow, like this is the shit was Tomb Raider. What was your favorite game on the PlayStation 1?
I mean, in retrospect, definitely Final Fantasy VII, but I did not play it on the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
I can admit that because back then, if I tried to play Final Fantasy VII with my 7-year-old ass, I would probably not get far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played it way later on, but it's my fucking game of forever, bro. Like that shit will stay in my memory probably till I die. It's that fucking good.
We got Real Royal Vision in the house. He says, "What's up? What's up? What's up?"
Yeah, I mean, definitely Final Fantasy VII, my number one top game.
Okay.
Now that I also played Metal Gear Solid later on, I would say it's also in my top 5.
Okay. Do you want to give you want to give your top 5 of the PlayStation 1?
Yeah, sure. It would be Final Fantasy VII, Legend of Dragoon, Tomb Raider. From what I remember, Gran Turismo 2, and Siphon Filter.
Okay.
No, Metal Gear and then Siphon Filter would be top 6.
No, that's good.
That's the ones I still remember that I played. So
yeah,
I was hella young back then.
Yeah. It was a little bit different for me. When the PlayStation 1 came out, I had just started gaming on the Tandy. Oh, sorry about that mic hit, y'all. Tandy 1000, that's the computer. And I was playing the Sierra games. So, you know, I kind of like got away from consoles then. But still, when it came to RPGs, the RPGs on PlayStation were phenomenal. And I remember the first game that I played on PlayStation that made me go, holy shit, these RPGs are freaking awesome, was Xenogears. Like, I love Xenogears. And then that's what really, like, you know, made PlayStation a staple in my house when it came to RPGs. And the RPG market for PlayStation games is so crazy. Like, back then, I remember like a few years later after Xenogears launched, and there weren't a whole bunch of used copies in circulation. that Xenogears was like 400. If you wanted to get a copy of Xenogears, you had to pay $400. You had to pay for, I don't know if Geek remembers that. You had to pay $400 to get a copy of Xenogears. That's how big that, and I used to have all of them. Like, and a bunch of my games that I had, like I only have like 20% of my game collection. 80% of it, my mom, I had it over at my mom's basement and they had a garage sale and my mom sold my shit. She had to have it. She don't remember. Oh, I was hot. So somebody's a lucky motherfucker. But yeah, Xenogears was like the first time I was like, holy shit, the PlayStation is phenomenal for RPGs. Michael Meridian says, my first PlayStation 1 game was Final Fantasy VII, then Resident Evil. Good times. Yeah, you know what? I never got into Final Fantasy VII personally because it was very cinematic and that was different from my Final Fantasy experience. So I never got into Final Fantasy VII, but I had a cousin, that was a younger cousin that was staying with me at the time. And he played all the Final Fantasy 7s, 8, 9s. Him and his friends would come over and they would beat the game together and shit like that and all other stuff. And I played like the older style 2D RPGs, you know, yeah. So that, and then he loved Resident Evil as well. I couldn't play, like for action games like that, I played the Tandy. So I couldn't get into Resident Evil, but he loved, to this day, he still, you know, when I run into him, he plays all that shit. Loves Resident Evil, loves PlayStation. Always, me and him used to, every time we had Thanksgiving, that was the big battle. Me and him, because he's a PlayStation diehard. And, you know, when I was with Xbox, and when I would literally bring it was a bunch of us that we would bring our Xbox shit to play Halo, he wouldn't play it. Like, that's how diehard he was. Like, he would not play it. Like, nope, I'm not playing that. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna get diseased by playing Xbox? No, I'm not playing that shit. I'm not playing Xbox. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, he was big into those games, but I was my first game that made me was like, holy shit, was Xenogears. If I had to give my top 5, would Xenogears be number 1? Yeah, Xenogears would be 1. Luna Silver Story would be number 2. Number 3 would be was Arc the Lad? I think Arc the Lad was placed. Yeah, Arc the Lad, the first one was PlayStation. So it'd be Arc the Lad. No. It would be Xenogears, Luna, Silver Story Complete. I still have that here, by the way. Final Fantasy VII, something, I forgot what it was called, where they literally took the first 6. You got a shit ton of discs. They literally took the first 6 and they remade them or remastered, retouched them and put them on PlayStation. So that would be 3. What would be 4 and 5? 4 would be Parasite Eve. And 5 would be, I can't think. I'd have to think about that one. I can't think of what 5 would be. But yeah, it of course all RPG. Well, Parasite Eve, I don't know if you would consider that RPG, but I love fucking Parasite Eve. That was the shit. So that's PlayStation 1. And don't forget our poll, y'all. We got our poll up there. Which of the PlayStations out of the first 4 was your favorite? PS1, PS2, PS3, or PS4? Let us know. He says, I have the strategy guides still for those games. Yeah, I have strategy guides. No. I'm sorry, I'm lying. Yeah, those were sold. I had like 5 or 6 boxes, Michael, of like classic game, like literally. Like let's go look them up right now. I want to see eBay. Go to eBay. I wonder how much. Oh, you're not getting my location. It's in my bolts. Okay, let's go to eBay. And no, I'm not signing in. I just want to look. I'm going to look with you guys here. Web, let's see here. I want Xenogears PS1. Let's see what that. Oh, okay. So it's come down significantly because it used to be like $300-400. But you know, now that there's digital access to games, like somebody actually got it. Yeah, it was easily $300-400. Let me see here. Let's see how much. What else did I lose? I lost Xenogears, and I lost Parasite Eve. Guess one. And those PS1 cases, I love them, dude. They're like so nostalgic with the multi. I love those things, man. I don't know what I love them. What else? Fuck. Let me look up my game that I have right now. Probably going down being that they've announced the remake. Lunar Silver Story complete PS1. Yeah, see. Oh no. I don't even have it up here. Oh, there it goes right there. So they want 100 for it. Yeah, this was all the shit that you got in there. Yep. That looks like the one I have. Yeah, they want around $100. What about Blue Story? No, Luna Eternal Blue complete. Oh, it's Lunar, not Luna. Lunar Eternal Blue. Eternal Blue was trash. Yeah, Lunar 2 was absolute garbage. Oh, I see 250. Holy shit. Yeah, oh, okay. Oh no, and then when you put Lunar, okay, so no, actually Lunar Eternal Blue is, yeah, because it was such trash that I don't think a lot were in circulation. So you can get more money for a Lunar Eternal Blue. Yep, those games, those are the last of my games, you know. And Arc the Lad, I got Arc the Lad too, but that's PlayStation 2. All right, so yeah, that was a nostalgic time. I loved my PlayStation 1 for the RPGs. I know a lot, you know, that's why I wanted to tap Cold Blood first, because he played, you know, a lot more PlayStation 1 games than I did. I just played that one genre, but now I think we can move over to PlayStation 2. So Cold Blood, when did you first get, I mean, or can you, not exactly when, but how was it your first time interacting with a PlayStation 2, and what was the game that first blew your mind on that console? Uh-oh, did we lose Cold Blood?
No, sorry. I mean, is that even a serious question? Like, what blew everybody away on the PS2 back then? Like, come on, bro. It's gotta be GTA. Like,
Yeah.
Bro, no other game comes even close in that generation. I'm sorry. That shit was revolutionary.
Yeah. Yeah.
GTA 3, bro. GTA Vice City. San Andreas. Oh my fucking god. The ungodly amounts of hours I played that game.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Replayed it like easily 8 to 9 times. Bro, it was the fucking shit back then. Like that game alone defines PS2. San Andreas. That is the fucking what do you call it? The magnum opus of the PlayStation 2. Like Rockstar really outdid themselves so much with this, bro. Holy. Well, then Final Fantasy X. Do I need to say more? Like, fucking masterpiece. Final Fantasy 12, maybe not a masterpiece, but still a fucking impressive ass game for the PS2. Like, graphically, there's almost no other game looking better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, maybe the story was fucking garbage in the end, but goddamn was it impressive for the time. Holy shit, was it impressive. Resident Evil 4. Mind blown.
Yeah, that was
just
mind
blown.
PlayStation 2. Yep.
Holy shit. Bro, just these 3 games, yeah? San Andreas, Resident Evil 4, and Final Fantasy X. Or 12, even. Bro, these games are fucking timeless classics at this point. They were so good, they transcend fucking generations. Like, that's why you get a fucking remaster every single gen of these games. Because people keep buying them because they are the fucking best games ever made.
I'm gonna put this on the screen. Go ahead.
I don't know, bro. These games are just such giants. Everything else is just, in my opinion, completely what do you call it? It makes everything else look way less in my eyes. Because back then I did not care about exclusive, not exclusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who did give a shit about back then?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got it on the console. Okay, that is a fucking console game to me that I can play. That's it. And bro, like, these, literally every single one of these multiplats, bro, was just the shit, the absolute best shit. If I had to rank these fucking generations right now, I would probably put the PlayStation 2 on number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just for San Andreas alone. Like, San Andreas just like I said, it transcends fucking generations. This game can be remastered, remade 1,000 times, and you're gonna buy it. And you're gonna play it again.
Well,
while Final Fantasy while Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time,
mm-hmm.
GTA San Andreas is just I don't know how to say it. It's just something that you help me out here, Moss.
It was
how do I explain?
Yeah, it's
transformative.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game and story of all time in gaming. But San Andreas, bro, it fucking destroys Final Fantasy VII if we look at it just objectively, right? That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, there were way more people gaming. PlayStation. I can tell you this much, for those of us that are old enough, like a geek or something like PlayStation started to make gaming cool. So I want to say that gaming probably increased quadruple by the time the PlayStation 1 came. And then by the time the PlayStation 2 came, it probably tripled again. You know what I mean? All thanks to PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't like, look at these copies. Like, the only people that were selling these amounts would have been Mario games and maybe Pokemon games beforehand. Nobody was like, here's the list according to Wikipedia. Here's the list of all of the best-selling PlayStation 2 games. Of course, like Cold Blood alluded to, San Andreas, GTA San Andreas is number one at 17 million copies. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec is almost at 15 million. Vice City is at 14 million. Gran Turismo 4 is at 11.7. GTA 3 is at 11.6. Then you got Final Fantasy X at 8.5 million. Metal Gear Solid is at 7 million. Tekken 5 is at 6. Final Fantasy 12 is at 6. Kingdom Hearts, you might as well say, is at 6. Final Fantasy X2 is at 5.4 million. And Dragon Quest 8, Journey of the Cursed King was at 4.8. Kingdom Hearts 2 was at, might as well say, 4.8. God of War was at 4.6. And to round out at 15th, it was Madden at 4.3 million. So yeah, I mean,
sorry to Metal Gear Solid and God of War, because God of War, I did not even know what the fuck that was back then. Sorry. I had no idea. So really, I got introduced to God of War with 3. Like, I did not even know what it is. So, and with Metal Gear Solid, I just forgot, bro. Metal Gear Solid 3, oh my god. Another fucking giant.
Yep.
Which will soon get a remake.
Yeah, Snake Eater is 19. Snake Eater, yeah, in comparison to 2, Snake Eater was I don't want to say only, but yeah, sold 4 million, where Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty sold 7. Didn't do bad at all. Yeah, well, man.
Metal Gear Solid 3 probably had some unfortunate backlash thanks to 2. Because people were thinking when they were playing 2 that they were playing with Snake.
Yeah.
But in reality, they've been playing with Raiden. Yes, it's a spoiler. But yeah. Hey, this game is so old. Yeah, if y'all don't play it, y'all not gonna play it now.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and here's the thing to consider, like, PlayStation 2 ended up with 150 million people on there. So we're seeing games like SOCOM 2, right? Which we know were big in successes for PlayStation. Now, Resident Evil 4 was on the GameCube as well, but that doesn't even matter. Like the GameCube, hardly anybody had that. Devil May Cry. So you guys see that Star Wars Battlefront. So you see where these games had like 2.3 million, right? 2.3 million back in the day, and still right now isn't bad, isn't horrible. I think what it is that, like, and these games were considered successes, and they had sequels. I mean, I know the cost of making games has gone up, but so has the cost of buying games gone up as well. Because I think games during this time weren't they like $40? I think they were 40. I could be wrong, 40 or 50. And then in addition to that, like you had like some games that cracked over 10 million, but not every single game cracked over 10 million. So when these people sit here and say, oh, a game has to sell 70 million, if it's exclusive, this is what people aren't understanding. Yeah, these are the Leviathan games that sell like a shit ton, but here's what these other games do. Okay, God of War 2. If I am a third person action nut and I'm looking at PlayStation and Xbox, and I'm looking at Xbox and I'm like, they don't have a game like that, I'm going there. That's another set of customers. Madden NFL 2005. Now I think, was Madden on Xbox? I don't know if Madden was on the OG Xbox. Probably not. But let's just say, for instance, it wasn't. I look at that and I'm like, oh, okay, they got a good because what's it called had, I don't think they had Madden, but they had their own NFL series. But if I want to play Madden, I'm like, okay, well, PlayStation has it. That's where I'm going. Kingdom Hearts 2, right? I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts 2 and I'm like, is there a game like that on Xbox? No. And I'm going to play, and that's why PlayStation sold 150 million versus Xbox that did 29 million. You know, I hope you guys understand this. So when you guys sit there and say, oh, this Astrobot only did 1.5 million, like what was Astrobot's budget? And what was his purpose? His purpose was to hit a particular demographic, have them make a decision the holiday season. You know what? I was thinking about getting an Xbox, but they don't have nothing like this Astrobot. And you pull that demographic over, you help them make the choice for them. So they're buying all the big ticket games on your console instead of theirs. So I just wanted to put that in perspective. Everybody thought, like Ratchet and Clank, everybody makes it seem like that every single game over on the PlayStation side sold like 30, 40 million. It's not true. They sold a lot, but by them only being on that console, that just forced people's hands to come over and get the other games there instead. You know what I mean? So, all right. If you ask me what my favorite PlayStation games were, they are going to be games that none of y'all cared about, right? The game that made me say I got to come over to PlayStation for PlayStation 2 was, it started with Grand Theft Auto. I was like, yeah. Well, you know what? I already had a PlayStation by then, but then I was like, everybody was into this Grand Theft Auto. I tried it out. And my experience with Grand Theft Auto has always been, I'll get caught up and enthralled with it. And it's all I play for 2 weeks and then I'm done with it. So my thing is, it wasn't the games that everybody else was gravitating to that always got me. Now, at this time, I'm in college. When this comes out, or no. I had just graduated college when the PlayStation 2 came out. But I had roommates. I was rooming with a cousin of mine at the time. And they love Metal Gear Solid. They love their PlayStation 2. I was playing Xbox and GameCube, right? But I had a PlayStation 2 as well. The games that I played were Xenosaga, Arc the Lad 2, Xenosaga. It was a bunch of RPGs as well. There was something else on PlayStation 2. Oh, Siphon Filter Omega Strain. I love that game. Siphon filter Omega Strain, so that's 3. I'm trying to think of one more before, because I know there's one more. Before I give you my 5th one. Siphon filter, Omega Strain, and shit. I know there's another PS2 game. Oh, fucking the first Killzone. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I love the first Killzone. And then lastly, my favorite series. What made me have to have a PlayStation, it wasn't even RPGs this time around, was King of Fighters. I loved King of Fighters. That was my shit. Me and my brother, by the time the King of Fighters collection came out, me and my brother I was staying with, me and him was rooming together, and we was playing that shit every night. I love King of Fighters, you know. So those are my 5. And if I had to pick one again, it would be King of Fighters. So.
Now that you mentioned fighters, bro, I forgot to mention Tekken back on PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was also a fucking showcase.
Yeah.
That was a real 3D showcase of what the damn console is capable of.
Yep. And my biggest memory with the PlayStation 2 is my friend who was in college at the time when it first came out, he brought it up. We was playing Madden on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get me a PlayStation 2. I'll get one. It was Christmas time. And I went to the mall to go get one, and they had a shit ton of PlayStations like sitting in Sears. If you guys remember Sears. A shit ton of PlayStations sitting in this pile, and they had the pile taped off. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And they're like, you're not allowed to go over there yet. But like they had that whole part of the mall section off. They said, if you want to come over here, you got to grab a ticket. I'm like, okay. And I went and grabbed the ticket, and they were like, okay, you got to stand over here. I'm like, what the fuck? And they literally like made us stand over in this section for like 2 hours. And they said, now you're going to stand here, and we're going to cut this tape, and we're going to let you come through and grab your PlayStation 2. Now, we're not telling you when we're letting you go, but when we cut that tape, we are letting you in numerically, and you go grab a PlayStation. And if you grab a PlayStation, and you can go grab one and go. And what it was is they were calling you in waves. So they would say, okay, you can let 1 through 25 in, 26 through 50. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers was just like, when they did that, bro, it was so crazy. People were running in there every time they grab a wave, and they were just grabbing it, and they were knocking PlayStation 2s all on the floor. I don't know if you guys remember, because they did it at Station. They probably did it at other places in the country. And I had got lucky because people were waiting so long, and they're like, well, let's go to the food court. Let's do this. We'll come back. And there were like a bunch of people that left, and my number was like 189. I'll never forget. My number was 189. And the guy looked at me and said, we only have 150 here. He said, you're likely not going to get one. So if you get this, be happy. And I said, okay, cool. And I went and got it, and I was excited. Here's what I wasn't excited about. I only had that thing for like a couple of months, and it got broken. Somebody dropped it. They were going behind my TV to go grab something, and they pulled the PlayStation down too with it and broke the motherfucker. I'm like, so I didn't get another PlayStation 2 for like another year. But then I got a PlayStation 2. I got another one when the Xbox and the GameCube came out. When they came out, I just got all 3 and shit. So yeah, that's my memory. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 was crazy, and it was crazy here, at least in the States, because it had that DVD player. And how much, I think, what was it, like 400 or 500? I think at launch. Let me see, how much was the PS2 at launch? I think it was 500. Oh, no, I'm fucking lying. PlayStation 2 was $299 at launch. So it was 300. But the thing was, it had a DVD player on it. And DVD players elsewhere were like anywhere between $600 to $1,000. So that's why you had a lot of people that wanted the PlayStation, because like you didn't just have a lot of gamers that wanted the PlayStation. You had a lot of people that wanted the PlayStation because it was a DVD player. And so you'll hear people say shit. And I never ran with this rhetoric in my biggest Xbox days, because I knew it was overkill. People were saying, "Oh, the PlayStation 2 was only popular because it didn't know." That helped us launch. But all these games right here that were the biggest games in the fucking world that were not anywhere else is why the PlayStation, there is no accident why these top 20 games, opposite of Madden, maybe. I think Madden was, I think Madden was on Xbox as well. But opposite of that game, bro, people got a PlayStation. Or look at all this shit that was on PlayStation that wasn't anywhere else except for Madden. Look at that. That's crazy. It wasn't the Blu-ray player. It's people. It helped sell that motherfucker out for sure. And there was a shortage at launch for sure. But that's not why the PlayStation 2 was such a success. PlayStation 2 was a success because all those fucking exclusives. They didn't sell 150 million at launch. And you got to remember, over time, DVD players became cheaper. So after that first year or two where DVD players became cheaper, what was it then? What the fuck was the excuse then? Because the PlayStation 2 slaughtered its competition all those years after it launched. I never ran with that rhetoric. To me, that one always confused me. It was the PlayStation 2 had a successful launch, but it was going to have that anyway because, number one, because it was a new PlayStation, which was like the most popular thing out at the time. Got to remember, the PlayStation 1 dethroned the Nintendo and the Genesis consoles. I mean, not Genesis, the Nintendo and Sega consoles. So here goes the sequel to it. You know, I knew that as a PlayStation hater back then. So that was always crazy to me. Don't forget to hit up our poll. Let's go to the chat there real quick. Conquer 218 says, my first PlayStation 1 game was Nightmare Creatures 2. I remember that. I still have strategy guides for those too. So, Scoop says, my first PlayStation 1 game was Street Fighter Alpha. Parasite Eve, wish they would do a remake. I would love that, man. I love Parasite Eve, man. That was a big game in my house. At the time, everybody in my house, everybody played Parasite Eve. Like, I don't know what, like aunts, uncle, like something, it was just something about that game. It was weird that everybody just like flocked to that game. Everybody played Parasite Eve. And Mortal Kombat 3, yep. He says, Sony really ain't going to do nothing for the players today, or did I miss it? No, they're not, no. They said they're doing events. on the Japanese site, they said they were doing events. I don't know if those are global events or what, but I haven't seen anything else. Like, let me see. PS5 Pro is trending, but probably for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, PS5 Pro is trending. Let's see why.
The usual shit, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, it's probably trending because of Digital Foundry. They probably launched another video. Let's see. Digital Foundry. What the? What's my keyboard doing that? A lot of times when you guys hear me cursing, it's because I'll be typing and then my keyboard will open up menus or something wrong with my keyboard. Let's see what Digital Foundry said about it. No, they haven't put out a new video, but for some reason, and GTA 6 is trending. That's interesting. Why is GTA 6 trending?
Because some playlists got updated or something recently. I think it was the official soundtrack list for the trailer or something. And it got updated now on YouTube. That's why everyone is now like, oh, we're gonna have a trailer soon again.
Okay. Yeah, but there's nothing. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything. We're in the top of the search for PlayStation 5 Pro. Why they're not? Anyway. But yeah, they're not doing anything, man. They're supposed to be doing events. And today is the 3rd. This is the anniversary. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I have no idea, man. This is the Hiroki Totoki.
The event is just like every other day, us just wondering why the fuck there's no communication. That's where you went.
That's the event, yeah. Find out what's coming next, because we're not going to tell you. Corey Massey says, Final Fantasy X be like, what I mean, nothing to you? Oh, okay. Could y'all imagine if...
Bro, the hell? I literally said Final Fantasy X.
And then he said, oh,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think afterward. Then he said, oh, okay. He said Final Fantasy X. He says, gotta love when folks actually had opinions of their own. Good times. Yeah, I mean... The internet has become a cesspool of just anger, and the world was a better place, unfortunately. Yeah, people thought individual and you know, they didn't run to these tribes and to tell me how to think or to tell me how things are going. King of Fighters was the GOAT back in the day. Yeah, I love oh my God, bro. Like, that was the premier fight. Like, you know, fuck all the other fighters. Like, you know, King of Fighters, and it was more complicated to me, and that's why I enjoyed it more. Like, I played which one was that had the Bruce Lee knockoff in it? Is that Tekken? I think that's Tekken.
Yep.
Okay. And I forget his name. I played that one at first, and then my brother introduced me into King of Fighters. I mean, King of Fighters has been around for a long fucking time, but I never like got into it. And when I got into King of Fighters, oh my God. It was 300. Yep. Sup people, says Muhammad. This is because we never saw a console on PC Hills like this. People feel threatened. He says, so much mental gymnastics going on. Never seen this much hate for the Pro. Never seen this much hate for a console before. Why is there no hype for Indiana Jones? I don't know. Did you see Hip Hop Gamer? I'm not even going by that. He seemed to.
Why is that? Look. You ask why there's no hype?
Mm-hmm.
Because we already know if Bethesda does not allow reviewers to put out a review before the launch, it's gonna have problems.
Exactly. There's no confidence in it. Because there's nothing better to do when you feel like you got a good game, but to get it in front of as many people as possible so they can promote said game. When you don't do that, then what you're saying is I don't have confidence in my game. That's what you're saying. I don't have confidence in my game. So he said Stevie Wonder could see that it's going to be hot trash. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the PlayStation 2. Now let's go. It gets a little bit trickier with the PlayStation 3. But Cold Blood has the experience with the PlayStation 3 a lot more than I do. So we'll get his thoughts on that. So Cold Blood. What PlayStation 3 rolls in? What's the game that first made you really say on the PlayStation 3, oh, this, I'm really enjoying this game? And what was your top 5 there?
Well, my literal first game was GTA 4.
Okay.
I mean, to me, bro, performance, FPS, and whatever didn't matter back then.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even perceive it like that. So GTA 4 was just, bro, I felt like home. like dude was almost a fucking Russian. I mean, he's Serb, but it's almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the most badass main character this franchise ever had. Like seriously, there is no better main character than Niko Bellic. Like when the gameplay part wasn't as good this time around,
mm-hmm.
because it was very limited in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking story was just fucking godlike to me. Bro, I love the story so much of GTA 4. Holy shit. Well, PS3 generation was my most played generation by far. I played so much games like never before. That was the time when I finally could fucking read properly and understand what the fuck I read, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, GTA 4 was my first game. After that, Resident Evil 5. Played the shit out of that too.
Yeah, that's my favorite Resident Evil.
And then came Modern Warfare 2, and that's when my fucking gaming addiction just went to fucking 180. Like, bruh. Multiplayer is a fucking drug.
Mm-hmm.
And Modern Warfare 2 showed it. Like, I got I don't know how many fucking days of multiplayer.
Yeah.
It was probably almost 100 days of just playing the game. Pure playtime. 100 days. Holy shit, I was addicted to that motherfucker. And then, of course, all the other Call of Duties, the Black Ops, the Modern Warfare 3. Bruh, I was just in gaming heaven back then. I loved my PS3. Uncharted, bro. Yo, Uncharted was so amazing. Like, my friend told me, hey, you gotta play this, bro. This is so sick. I was like, what the hell is this? It's just this is just Tomb Raider, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no. This is way better than Tomb Raider. Fuck Tomb Raider. What the fuck you talking about? I played it, bro. He was right, bro. Uncharted 2 was the shit. Yo, I was so amazed. Then also Uncharted 3 came out. Loved it too. Maybe not so much as 2, but that's probably almost unanimously the way people felt about 3. That 2 was just better. What else did I play? God of War 3. Yo, the fuck. I was just like, what the fuck did I just play when I finished it? Like that shit was just insane, bro. From beginning to end. Like he just goes around, fucks up gods and shit. Yo, that was sick, bro. What else? What else was there? Metal Gear Solid 4. Didn't like it, actually. I'm sorry, but Metal Gear Solid 4 just didn't hit for me at all.
Mm.
I don't know why. Maybe because it was too fucking futuristic. I have no idea. I can't remember really what my problem was. I just know I didn't like it. Man, there was so much more games I played, bro. I can't even remember now. But those are some of the highlights for sure. Then Last of Us, of course, at the end of the generation, and GTA 5. Like, do I need to say more? Like those games absolutely defined the generation.
Yeah. Oh, oh gosh. So I'm looking at a list right now. Christ. Yeah, on the PlayStation 3. Hold on. Best-selling PlayStation 3
That was
game.
way more. I just can't remember all the games, bro. I need a list, then I can talk about more games. Like that's the one ones I remember now.
Well, GTA 5 sold 29.52 million on the PlayStation 3. Gran Turismo
Lifetime
5,
sales or just for a period of time?
No, this is lifetime sales on the PlayStation 3.
But even then, just think about it. 80 million PS3 sold.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen a console game sell that much.
30 million. 30 million of
is
those
crazy. Yeah.
had GTA 5.
Yep.
Bruh.
Yeah, that's a crazy attachment rate. I've never seen an attachment rate on any other console except maybe a Mario or something like that.
And bro, don't forget that bitch came out on the 360. So if there was no 360 and it was just PlayStation, holy shit, it would have sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 30 million there. Gran Turismo 5 had 12 million. The Last of Us was 7 million. Uncharted 3 was 6.6 million. Uncharted 2 was 6.5 million. Metal Gear Solid 4 was 6 million. Batman Arkham City was 5.4 million. Gran Turismo 5 Prologue was 5 million. Gran Turismo 6 was 5.2 million. God of War 3 was 5.2 million. Final Fantasy 13 was 5 million. Modern Warfare 2 was 4.8 million. The first Uncharted was 4.8 million. GTA 4 was 4.3 million. And Arkham Asylum was 4.2 million. So those are the top 15.
Well, yeah, Final Fantasy 13 exists, sure, but I ain't gonna mention that because that was not a highlight to me of the PS3. Sure, maybe in the graphics department, they really upped it up again. As usual, Square Enix loves to do that. But in everything else, that was just a downgrade.
I even vaguely remember that. Okay, yeah, I okay.
But I still platinumed the whole 3 games that came out of it.
Yeah, so that's the PlayStation 3. You gave your top 5 games. I can't say that I have a top 5. But the games that definitely on the PlayStation 3 that I enjoyed playing the most were Infamous, both of the Infamous games. I enjoyed both of those. And then Uncharted 2, and then the first Last of Us. Like, I didn't finish it on that, but when I first played it, because I like Uncharted 2, I thought was cool. I didn't really care for the other Uncharted, but I liked Uncharted 2. And then so when Naughty Dog comes out with The Last of Us, I'm like, oh, I'm not really gonna dig this one. And I actually liked that one. I was like, yeah, this is different. I like the tone of this. I like the gameplay in this. Like, this is different. This is the shit. So yeah, I definitely have a top 4 that I played there. My thing with the PlayStation 3 is, before all the mishaps happened with Anonymous and all that shit, is I use it as a media center. Like, that thing was an awesome fucking media center. And when having a media center was the thing, like streaming shit from your computer to your TV, when that was a big thing. You guys remember Media Center mode on Windows XP? You guys remember that? And what was that other whatever came after XP? Yeah, that was the shit. I remember to set that up with Media Center for on Xbox. It took me, like, I started it at 9 at night and I didn't finish until 2 in the morning. And it still wasn't working 100% right. And so then somebody was like, well, why don't you just download this program onto your PlayStation 3? And I was like, at the time I didn't have one. So I ordered one off of eBay. I got a PlayStation Fat, ordered it off of eBay, and literally, like the person told me, just put this, put it on your micro SD card, put it in the PlayStation and run it. It literally took me like 20 minutes to set it up. I was like, fuck this shit with Xbox. Fuck you. As far as the media center was concerned. So yeah, it was a great media center. We had a lot of cool auxiliary functions to it, but I would say that the games that I played, and I played a lot of them, because I had GameFly at the time, but the games that stuck out with me the most was, those 4 games: Uncharted, 2, Last of Us, in both of the Infamous games. So, let's go to the chat. Let's see what they have to say about the PlayStation.
Wait. I got an honorable mention.
What's that?
The PlayStation Home.
Oh, see, I never got into that.
Brother, that was also another ungodly amount of hours of fucking just taking the piss out of people in that, bro. As a kid, bro, that was your first time you got a chat room, right?
Yep.
Where you can go around and fuck around with people and stuff, bro. That was so interesting to me back then. Like, bro, I put so many hours into it. It was so funny to me.
And something like that, and shout out to Jack Buser. Jack Buser was the head of PlayStation Home, and something like that I think now, I think it would move people now because, like these homes, like the Discords and the servers and stuff like that are such a big deal. And I would love to see somebody create something like that to where, your avatar can go and, y'all can play some offshoot games or fuck around in the chat.
Bro, literally have a podcast in it.
Yeah, you literally could. You literally could. That would
with
be
people that can actually react in real time with you.
Yes, react to what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. Like, what if they had this function where, your avatar sitting in the crowd and then, you're sitting on talking and me and you's talking and then, like when we get to our part where we're going to talk about this PSSR shit. And, we got Corey Massey. Shout out to Corey sitting in the crowd. He picks up a pie and throw it at us. You can have like functions like that, where you can grant people that follow you on the new PlayStation Home, shit like that. I really think something like that. I mean, what do you guys think in the chat? I would do another poll, but I don't want to close this one out. Do you guys think a PlayStation? I think a PlayStation Home or something equivalent to that, I think that would work now. With AI and machine learning, you can actually have the avatars react to what you're saying. The AI and machine learning can tell your tone. So, we could be sitting visually somewhere chatting and shit. And then if Cold Blood and somebody and Juice is getting into it, you can literally like show them arguing and waving their hands and shit like that. Like you can do something like that. I think that would be cool.
I mean, it kind of exists already. If you got VR, or even without VR, you could. It's called VR chat room or whatever on Steam. You could do it over there.
Yeah.
But how many of you got a fucking PC VR setup?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think you could use. I think we could do something like that, and PlayStation could take advantage of a streaming platform. Like PlayStation could make a streaming platform kingmaker with that. I think. Especially for content creators. Like, can you imagine something like that on Kick, or they approach Twitch with that, or whoever's out there, they can approach somebody with it. They wouldn't make I think they would make a kingmaker out of that, because you could stream, you know what I'm saying? And you could watch your stream and see how the people in the crowd are reacting to it. If you make that option available, you can and then look, go ahead.
PlayStation Home was just too far ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was.
The fucking ambition that they had, bro, that was just insane.
Muhammad is stupid. He said Diddy Party on the Cloud would be insane.
Oh, hell yeah. Finally someone says it out loud. Y'all outing yourselves on that, yeah. So
shout out to Chariot Man. Go ahead.
they make it easier for the FBI.
Oh shit, yeah. Here goes the chat logs. we got them. Oh man. That's funny. Yeah, that would be, I think. And hey, Jack Buser, someone sent it. Jack, leave Google, man. Leave Google and bring back PlayStation Home. How about that, man? Leave Google, man. Jack's the homie. Jack is a great dude. Leave Google and start PlayStation. I think that would work. That would make a platform pretty much kingmaker. And do you know how much attention would then again be centered around PlayStation even further? Like, okay, me and you, Cold Blood, we set up a stream and our avatars on the stream and we're talking and all the other stuff, right? It's sitting at, maybe you can set it up to where you're like sitting at we're sitting at a desk or whatever, and then there's people in the crowd. And then what I can do is, in order for me to interact too, I gotta have a PlayStation profile. So in order for me to interact, what I can do then is then get on the PlayStation app on my phone, and there's have my avatar cheer or throw a pie, throw a tomato. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm interacting real time to what you're saying. And then just as easy as me and you were talking, you could sit there and say, like, how you and Corey were talking about the infamous Silent Hill thing. You could get online on your PlayStation, right? Because we're streaming this through the PlayStation. You could get online and play Silent Hill and say, see, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that would be an awesome dynamic. And again, it would take a lot of money. But I think what you're saying is right. Like, even though I was a PlayStation hater, I always said in the back of my mind, I said the PlayStation Home concept could be a big one. It's just that so many people were laser focused on 360. I don't think that they even gave there were so many people focused on gaming on the 360. They really didn't give PlayStation Home a chance.
Bro, PlayStation Home had a shit ton of people playing it all the time. There were literally people, they had a PlayStation only for PlayStation Home. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? Someone has that shit only there to talk to other people the whole day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people just underestimate how fucking big that shit was.
But what I think they shut it down because they were expecting more activity. Bro,
they had sponsors and shit in this motherfucker, real life sponsors, not just some made up ones, like literally movies, I think, and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like I'm telling you, that was PlayStation's second life, and unfortunately they fucked it up by not continuing development on it. Mm-hmm. Like, if they did continue developing it, updating the engine and stuff, bro, so it's always the next generation, right? So it looks at least like a PS4 gen game or a PS5 gen game. Bro, it could have been such a big ass game.
I'm looking at this.
But by the time the PS5 released, bro, it would have been a fucking humongous ass game. If they just kept on developing it, bro.
I'm reading this story about something PlayStation Home Lives.
Yeah, but that is over some private server or some shit. So okay. They got it. I think they got it somehow working or.
Okay.
But it's not the actual PlayStation Home is back live or something. Who's gonna play it now?
I mean, it's not even running off of PlayStation, right?
I think it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They got private servers somewhere working on the PS3. With some fucking trickery, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be. I think social media wasn't that integrated at that point in our day-to-day lives.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it wasn't, and I think it was before. Yeah, it was before its time. I think if they brought it back now, it would be huge. I think it would be huge. And then they integrate it with like streaming platforms. Like they find a streaming platform that they integrate this with. It would make a particular streaming platform, as far as gaming is concerned, kingmaker. Like where if you can stream games and then, oh yeah, that would be fucking sick, bro.
Oh, I hope it's YouTube. If they ever decide to make something like that, I hope it's YouTube, not Twitch. Fuck Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch is going through a bunch of problems. I don't think Twitch is. I mean, they're trying to. Twitch's last ditch effort is this enhanced streaming thing that they're working on. It's supposed to let you do 4K and do multiple streams. We'll see how that works. But yes, Twitch is going through it right now. They're in a bad way. Okay. That's PlayStation 3. Last, but certainly not least, PlayStation 4, man. Okay, so Cold Blood, run us through your experience. PlayStation 4 first game that had you go, oh shit, and your top 5 there.
First PlayStation 4 game. Well, the oh shit was Killzone for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, goddamn, even to this day, that this game looks more next gen than some fucking games that came out in this gen. Like, the Guerrilla, I mean, when it comes to graphics, bro, they are just masters.
Mm-hmm.
They're just sitting on their ass with Horizon right now, which I don't like. I hope they do something out at some point. I mean, my PS4 generation was probably like almost everybody else's PlayStation 4 gen. All the exclusives and stuff. Bloodborne, Infamous Second Son, Uncharted 4, fucking Horizon, and Spider-Man, God of War, all that shit, bro, and a little bit of Call of Duty, but it fell off on the PS4 gen. I mean, did PS4 have that generational game like GTA?
I mean, yeah, God of War 2018. I mean, if you're talking about new IP,
I mean generational, not a great masterpiece exclusive. No. I mean a fucking generational game, like a San Andreas, for example.
No, because I mean, you really didn't have one 20. Okay, I see what you're saying. No, because nothing came out.
Yeah, that was the gen of creative bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's when things just was getting polished. Yeah, that's when things just got polished. That you really didn't have any groundbreaking ideas.
That was no, bro. That was the generation where I said, "Fuck Ubisoft." Fuck them. Like, you are creatively bankrupt to the absolute maximum. EA, after Battlefield 4, I never forgave them for the absolute atrocious launch that was. Who else was creatively bankrupt that generation? Not 2K, from what I remember. Oh wait, did 2K even bring something out in that generation?
Yeah, I was about to say, what did they do? They ain't do nothing. Everybody, I mean, did
2K bring out BioShock in that generation? No, right?
That was the generation before.
Oh, right. Well then, 2K as well. Fuck them too.
Yeah, everybody was. The only people that were making good games was PlayStation. I can't really think like that generation. I mean, what were the good games? I'm trying to think. Top selling games of was that, the 8th generation? Yeah, me personally, I wasn't saying that. I think what killed that, or what hurt the 8th generation.
I forget. It was the rise of CD Projekt Red and the downfall of them in the same generation, in my opinion.
Well, here goes.
Because they brought one of the best fucking RPGs ever with Witcher 3, and then disappointed me to the absolute maximum with Cyberpunk, bro. I could literally cry how much I was hyping that up and being disappointed with it. Like that was probably my biggest disappointment ever in a generation.
So here's the top 45 games according to IMDb. I'm not sure. Oh, are they going by rank? No, they're not going by ranking. I don't know what they're maybe they just created this list based off a panel. After going through lots and lots of lists. Oh, no, this is someone. Oh no, this is somebody else. But I think this doesn't look like a bad list. God of War's number 1, Last of Us is 2, Horizon, they got 3, Zero Dawn.
All right, I because of Cyberpunk I completely forgot. Yeah, right. Ghost of Tsushima came out in that generation, but at the end of it.
Yeah, the only transformative game I would say would probably be Witcher 3. Or close to it. I wonder how many Witcher 3s were sold. I mean, Witcher 3 they had sold over and over again. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. You had Hellblade, Spider-Man, Bloodborne, Red Dead Redemption 2. That sold a shit ton. I know a lot of people say they don't like it.
Yeah, but what wasn't a fan of it? I mean, I enjoyed it, but it still was a fucking slog.
See, I think what it was is last generation is when you had a division of gamers. And I think to this day, these two types of gamers are battling each other. There's the somewhat of the traditional gamer who likes the guardrailed, point A to point B, story-driven games. And then there were the gamers that liked open world games. So you had like the open world gamers versus the traditional gamers over the last few gens. Holy cow. Okay, we got, well, you know what? And I meant to Geek to Sneak gifted one membership. He gifted MM2K Gaming News. How in the hell? Why would they have you gift? What? Oh, what the hell is going on here? Like, yeah, YouTube. This is what I'm talking about. What the fuck?
Enjoy your membership.
What was that? Okay, Michael Moradian got a membership. Okay. Yeah, that's stupid. Why would they? That is dumb.
Well, at some point you had to get.
Dude, I'm sorry. Why would they get YouTube? This is what, bro. You don't get it sometimes. Why I hate this platform. It's on full display right now. The only reason why we're here is because y'all love it, and y'all, you know what I'm saying. It makes it easier for y'all. I hate this platform. Why would they?
No. Did you really get the membership now gifted to yourself?
That's what it reads like that, but now it's saying maybe it realized what it did, and it says Michael Meridian was gifted a membership.
Well, MM is close.
Okay. Yeah, MM2K Gaming News member. Yeah, okay. I was about to say, why the fuck did it? But anyway, yeah, that's what I think happened, bro. I think those two gamers were like at a crossroads, and the traditionalists are winning now because the games as a service titles this time around are just bad. Like, I'll give you a prime example. I wouldn't have said Ubisoft became bankrupt last generation. I think they became bankrupt this generation, or towards they came bankrupt the beginning of this generation. Last generation, I think they actually had some decent efforts. Like, I did like Syndicate. Syndicate was okay, but I loved Odyssey. Odyssey was my game. Assassin's Creed, and I don't even like Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was my game of the year. I know Division 1, Division 2 launched with snags or whatever, but it still got itself a solid demographic. I think it was proven when they had Watch Dogs Legions, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and what's the name launch, all in the same year. Like, I even liked Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think Ghost Recon Wildlands, not Recon, the one before Recon. That was a good game. But they kind of lost it after they launched those three. Because Watch Dogs Legions was trash. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's just bloated to me. I don't like it. I can't get into that game. I don't like it. I know a lot of people like it. It made $1 billion. That's fine. I just don't like the game. And then, what was that? Gods and Monsters. Wasn't a bad game. It's just, it wasn't special either. Like, I think beginning with those three games, Ubisoft started making games that just were not great anymore. They weren't able to make great games anymore. And it's really starting to show. But if we could say any game, I wonder how many. Let me see. How many copies of Witcher 3 sold? I think Witcher 3, 50 million copies. So yeah, you. Wait, I mean, it wasn't GTA big, but yeah.
Excuse you.
Yeah.
Did you read that right?
Yeah, 50 million.
Well, yeah, that's the generational game of that generation.
God damn. 50 million. Yeah. Yep. Here goes let me see. And I forgot all about that. And to be honest with you, I've never really gotten into Witcher 3. Like, I played it, the beginning of it, and that's weird for me as an RPG fanatic that I am. I only played like the first 15 minutes and I wasn't impressed. And I was like, and then I just, I didn't really give it a chance. But yeah, Witcher 3 has sold 50 million copies. Entire trilogy has sold 75 million. So maybe it's time that I try Witcher 3. But that's where I think, like, in Cold Blood, have you really played Witcher 3?
I platinumed it.
Oh shit, okay. All right. I mean, what did you think?
I played I played that bitch on Death March. So I know what pain is. that game is pain, bro. But I mean, story-wise, bro, these side quests are fucking amazing. Like, seriously, that is riding on the upper echelon of gaming, which they absolutely ruined with Cyberpunk with a fucking worse RPG version. I mean, it wasn't really an RPG. Cyberpunk was not even an RPG. It was just a shooter that had RPG elements in it, but it wasn't a true RPG like Witcher was, bro. The Witcher was fucking insane.
I gotta give Witcher a chance. I really didn't.
Oh yeah, but that's a big boy. Just so you know, it's
50.
That's not a not a short experience.
And here's my thing, Cold Blood, which CD Projekt Red got greedy. You sold over 50.
Oh yeah,
they got greedy.
The moment you said 50 million, it made all sense, bro.
They sold 50 million copies of Witcher 3. Witcher 3, remember, they wanted to make it available on the Xbox and the PlayStation, the 360 and the PlayStation 3, because there were so many of those consoles out, but they couldn't. They had to make it an 8th generation exclusive, and you still sold 50 million. But you got greedy. You tried to take this other game, Cyberpunk, that should have never been an 8th gen game, and you tried to squeeze it into 8th gen so you could make all this extra money. What you should have did is you should have made that a 9th gen game. You know, like if Cyberpunk would have came out last year, everything that they wanted to make it could have been realized. Everything that they wanted to make that game could have been realized. If Cyberpunk would have came out like last year, or maybe even 2022, well, I would say like last year, you know, it needed like 3 more years. But they got greedy. They got greedy, and they paid for it. Paid for it dearly.
Well, they paid in their own image. Their image is now fucking ruined. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people are not trusting them anymore. Like, whenever the next game they come out with, bro, they better be...
Yeah, the people are going to be a lot more skeptical.
They better be ready.
Yeah. They're going to be a lot more skeptical.
No rush to bullshit, bro. You are on the watch list of that shit now.
I don't even know who that is. So yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. It might not have been the best generation for most publishers, but it was probably the best generation for Sony ever.
Yeah. Yep.
Because everything fell into their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Console was cheaper than the competition.
Yeah.
You were ready this time around. You had your developers ready to bring out some fucking banger ass games. Your competition didn't do shit. Mm-hmm. Your competition was Phil Spencer. Like, bro, how much more of a lucky streak could you be on than this?
Yeah.
Like, the whole... Oh yeah, you got the COD deal. So, bro, literally, I'm telling you, that COD deal made that PS4 sell so much. Mm-hmm. Just
Destiny,
because that 1 month...
Destiny.
Oh yeah, sure. But Destiny wasn't an exclusive.
Well, COD
but still,
wasn't either.
they had those exclusive deals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! They played their cards right that generation.
They did exactly what they were supposed to do. No, there were exclusive maps for Destiny 2, or they were, timed exclusive, but by the time they came, or not Destiny.
Yeah, but Moss, let's be real, the COD deal was much bigger.
No, the COD,
one month early access to the fucking maps and shit, and the guns and stuff. yo, that left Xbox in the
Destiny
fucking
was
dust.
No, I'm not. COD was definitely bigger. There's nothing bigger than, again, at no time was Destiny bigger than COD, but Destiny was close. I mean, the first Destiny was humongous, and them having a shooter that had the shooting mechanic charm of a Halo now on PlayStation, and PlayStation exclusively is getting the best maps for years, exclusively for years. That had a huge impact too. A huge impact. Not as big as Call of Duty, you're right. But Destiny, oh no, Destiny was huge. And PlayStation nailing that down, like the bulk of it was Call of Duty. But whatever scraps that were left out there to give Xbox a chance, Destiny sucked that up. And I'm talking about chance from a multi-plat standpoint. Destiny sucked that up. Yeah, Destiny on PlayStation was humongous.
Okay. What PlayStation, in my opinion, was the biggest W is bringing the Final Fantasy VII remake in that generation. The amount of people that were hyped after the announcement, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane. Like, we cannot sit here and say, yo, that wasn't a big W-ass move by Sony. I will forever be grateful to Sony that they did that, because I wanted a remake.
It was a big move, but Xbox was dead by then. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't big, but no, I'm serious. Like PlayStation, Xbox was like dropping a nuclear bomb.
Whoa, wait. That announcement was 2015. That was still a chance for Xbox to come back, right?
How? With what?
I mean, there was a chance, right? There's always a chance to get to come back.
Oh, it
was the beginning of the generation, really.
Oh, you're talking about the announcement? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
when the announcement happened.
Oh, when the announcement. Yeah, I
because
think that had an impact.
The remake.
Yeah, I think it had an
impact. No, the remake came out at the end of the generation. So,
yeah. Okay, you're talking about the announcement. I think the announcement was important, but I think that the real impact was the actual game being there. And by the time the game came, they were dead. I think, 2015 was still early, but I think by that time Xbox had killed themselves. Number one with
what?
With Scalebound, right? I'm gonna tell you the three biggest things the four biggest things that killed Xbox. Number one was Scalebound. No, I'm sorry. Number one was the Kinect. Having $100 more
agree
for a weaker console, that was number one. Number two was Scalebound. Because Xbox, all of their prior exclusives to Scalebound, nobody gave a fuck about. Like, the people cared about Crackdown 3, they were impressed by the demo, but Crackdown 3, nobody knew when that was coming out. Kept getting pushed back. Scalebound was supposed to be supposedly around the corner, and then all of a sudden it gets canceled. So that's number two. Number three was them not really pursuing second party deals all like that. They gave up on second party deals. Like after Tomb Raider didn't hit the way that they wanted to, instead of them to keep trying, they gave up, which was stupid. And last but certainly not least, the thing that killed Xbox, which just murdered it, whether the people that are listening and that y'all are hiding, you want to admit it or not, and I dropped the video here. This is what made Crap Gamer leave. This is what turned everybody who wasn't if you were not making a living, unless you were making a living off of Xbox, or you just have wet dreams about Xbox, you left the Xbox platform definitively after Crackdown 3. When Crackdown 3 launched, because I remember I did a video on it, because I don't know if you guys remember, but the Xbox community that was the first time that you saw the Xbox community go full-blown panic. They had panic in their heart, they had anger, and they had disbelief in their heart all at the same fucking time. Was after Phil Spencer, they had got Terry Crews and shit. Remember, go get Terry Crews is gonna do it. Oh, like he, Terry Crews. After Terry Crews was signed on, and then Phil Spencer Phil Spencer told you this was the game that everybody deserved. So at this point in time, we didn't understand that Phil Spencer didn't have an eye for games. We didn't realize this yet. People are still living in this imaginary world that Xbox is doing bad because of Terry Myerson. So Terry Myerson's gone. Crackdown 3 is about to launch. They just signed on Terry Crews. Phil Spencer tells you it's going to be the game of that everybody's been waiting on, and it's a fucking dud. It's a piece of crow shit. Like, I remember Crab Game. Everybody, it was like a national attack had happened. They had decided it's over, and I remember. Let me see if I can find the video. I remember because we were having conversations. It was like a pandemic had happened. It was like it was COVID before fucking COVID. Let me see if I can find my video. Dude, I'm telling you, when that game launched, and it was hot dog water. It was old musty hot dog water. The community, that's when I knew it was over. And I made a video called let's see. Here it goes. Here it goes right here. Here goes my video. I said, this was 5 years ago. And it's black and white and shit is ominous than a motherfucker. But I said how Crackdown 3 changed Xbox gaming forever. Hashtag CD3 Awakening. Here goes the video right here. That game changed everything. And I made this video based off of all the conversations and shit that I was having. Like, that's when people had checked out.
Yo, the Xbox One PS4 generation was the funniest one by far.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The amount of dog shit Xbox released.
Yeah, like
yeah,
you could do your worst. Like PlayStation literally was going against a company that was doing its worst. Like that's why I get why people say they think Phil is a double agent. Like, not only was PlayStation shooting on all four cylinders, and the icing on the cake was when I don't know if you guys remember this. See, I remember all this shit. Jim Ryan had came out. It was right after Shannon Loftus. You guys remember her? She came because she was fiery, like talking shit. Everything ain't about bullets and head kills, right? When we were complaining about chasing black pigs and chickens and shit in Sea of Thieves. She not about headshots, gunshots, and head kills or whatever, right? And so Jim Ryan and PlayStation heard that. See, PlayStation's always they used to always be lurking, right? PlayStation used to be fierce. They used to always put their foot on the neck of Xbox and like kill their hopes and aspirations, right? So PlayStation was listening. So they saw us like battling Xbox over this. And Jim Ryan, I can't remember who the publication was, Jim Ryan just out of nowhere says, look, you guys, we're excited about the PlayStation 5. We're excited about the things we're about to do further with the PlayStation 4. If you are a hardcore gamer that likes hardcore games, give us a try. And if you're listening to, think about that. He said, give us a try. You already are shitting on Xbox. You're destroying them. Like, what was the numbers? Like 50 million at the time. I think they were at 100 million by the time he had released this. So who are you telling to give us a try? Who are you saying this to? You're saying this to the the downtrodden, depressed, sad Xbox gamer. Give us a try. And they did. Started with God of War 2018. But the opportunity presented itself with Crackdown. Like when Crackdown was done, when did Crackdown come out? Did that come out 2017 or 2018? When did Crackdown 3?
Wasn't it 19?
February 2019. So you had God of War 2018 come out, be phenomenal. And the following year, don't you worry, because Crackdown is going to be the game that you all deserve, right? And we're, oh! Then Crackdown 3 comes. And it's donkey dog water. The Xbox community checked out, and it's never been the same. Never been the same. I know, because as a member of the Broadband Bullies, I was in the middle of so many beefs. That's when Z was hitting the airwaves. Fuck this water. They clocked out. They clocked out. It was over. And it was no coming back. No coming back, bro.
Just remember Exhibit A, he chose Kratos. It's gonna be the fucking pirate from Steel. So badass dude, looking like Crack Gamer.
Bro, those need to, his podcast need to be downloaded and enshrined in like a museum and shit. And as kids walk by, Mommy, what was video gaming like in 2018? Well, the almighty Next Gen 720 was saying, fuck, he pressed his button. Fuck that water. Press that button, little Susie, to hear what Next Gen 720 was saying. Fuck that water. Bruh. Yeah, that's when it was exposed. Who were the real gamers that were just overly optimistic? I checked out. I checked out 2018. After God of War, after I had like wasted $500 on this Xbox One X, and then I did this challenge in 2018, and I got me a $199 PlayStation 4, and God of War looked better than anything on my Xbox One X. That's when I checked out. I was done. And then a few months after that, Phil Spencer at the dice ceremony talking about how they're still learning and they want to make games as good as PlayStation, just like you didn't battle these motherfuckers last generation. I had checked out. I checked out before Crackdown. But those that were still overly optimistic, that weren't necessarily just in it for the money, because let's not be fake here. Crap and Mooch. They were ringing it up in super chats. They were cha-chinging it. And even they couldn't, they had to give in. They had to give up. Even they couldn't take it. So if Crap and Mooch turned their backs on Xbox at that time, with all the money they were making, all the, the following that they had, you then had to look at anybody who was staying and saying, are you delusional? Is there like some mental incapacity there? Or are you that much of a money mooching peasant that you want to stay? You know what I'm saying? Like if you were a creator, like are you really that? Those that were just overly optimistic had checked out. And look, I'm not lying. Look, I made this video right here that explains it all. I called it. It was the CD3 awakening. Like the community was like, holy, it was horrible. It was horrible. So, what I have here about Shannon Loftus, I saw something about Shannon Loftus. But I saw Shannon Loftus's name somewhere. Okay, Phil gets the promotion. Interview with Shannon Loftus exposes problems for Xbox. Oh, what was that? Interview with Shannon Loftus. I got to check that one out. The medicine number 18. Do our interests align? Yeah, Shannon Loftus was, oh my God, bruh. She was a piece of work. But she represented the downfall of Xbox, where it was about representation over quality. And again, I'm not, when you guys hear me say this, I know some people get pucker lipped. I'm not saying that just because you have representation, you're forsaking quality. I'm not saying that, because I've done this for a living. If you just organically let the people that apply to work somewhere apply, and you get rid of your own personal stigmas, your place of employment will automatically be as diverse as naturally as possible. Meaning, if 10% of the qualified people that apply for said job apply and get it based off their merits, then 10% of your workforce will be said people. Or if 60% of other people, it'll organically look like the people that went to school for said job and are the best qualified. It'll organically look like that. So again, for those of you that get pucker lipped or get upset with me when I say that, how can you say something like that? No, I am saying there are some companies out there, not all, but some companies, Microsoft or Xbox is one of them, to where quality is not, it's not a balance to them. It's, we got to have this artificial number of these people, this, and then we'll make it work. That's what, at least what Xbox does. I'm not going to say Microsoft people do that, because I've worked with Microsoft people. They're some of the best and brightest out there. Not Xbox. That hasn't cascaded down to Xbox. Xbox has a problem, and Shannon Loftus was the beginning of that. You could start, because you would look at yourself and listen to her and say, why is she even here? She doesn't belong here. She doesn't belong in AAA genre defining gaming to help pull you out of this rut. What is she doing here? That was like the first time I've ever saw a VP at a gaming company and had that feeling. And then you started seeing a trend at Xbox and you're like, aha, now I see what's going on. So yeah, I want to check that out, because Shannon Loftus, she was the beginning of that. She was no pun intended, she was the matriarch of showing you that Xbox really wasn't looking at having a quality focused staff. They had a separate agenda, and they were going to retroactively suit that agenda and then figure out a way to make it work. And I think that leads to that's a large part of the reason why you don't get quality games from them. The biggest reason is just Phil. I mean, all this is because of Phil Spencer, but he's the biggest reason. So, Everything, and then, everything that Microsoft may mandate or their approach in different areas, it seems like Phil does it the worst. Like, Satya may go to this department, that department, and say, hey, look, these are the things that we like to do. And everybody else figures out a way to do it and not forsake quality. For some reason, Phil can't do that. And I think Phil can't do that because he's just not good for this job. I know we're supposed to be celebrating PlayStation, but it's very important. Thank you, Cold Blood, for 8 months. Did Corey gift you a membership too, Cold Blood?
No.
Did you get gifted one from Corey?
No. I pay for my own.
Lies and HoloLens says man overboard. Yeah, I just want to be abundantly clear at what I'm saying here, because trust me, you're talking to someone who's had to talk to my superiors, and they're like, well, what do we do here? And I'm like, quotas. You don't hire based off of quotas. Use quotas as a mirror of your leadership. If 10% of the people applying for this job graduate at this level, show this level of competency, this level of accreditation, and you manage to only, like if 10% and you only manage to hire 2%, there's something wrong with your leadership that's selecting your staff. And you can't fix that by just retroactively just grabbing people because they look a certain way. You have to change the leadership. You have to make sure that the selection process is adequate. If it's looking at all the right things and not suffering from its incoherent biasness, then it'll naturally be diverse. I've done that at a Fortune 500 level, very successful at it, and business that used to pass us up, after the fact, started working with us. So I'm not saying that, to try to fit some type of, I'm trying to fit in with this group or that group. No, I'm not, I'm telling you based off of my own personal experience. And I can tell you that Microsoft, or not Xbox, is doing it the wrong way. They're doing it the way that my bosses were going to do it before they came to me and said, well, what do you think? And I had to say, no, you don't do it that way. It's not fair to the company. It's not fair to the consumer because you're not going to get the best quality. And it's not fair to said group that you didn't, that you may have overlooked, because if you're bringing unqualified people that represent said group, then you're putting a stigma on said group, and it's going to look like they're just not competent. Don't do that. It's bad. There's nothing good about that. Your selection process has to be organic. If it's not organic and it doesn't look right, there's something wrong with your leadership. They're not making the right choices. You have to address your leadership. How do you address and get better leadership when the leader himself is bad? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's an old saying, a fish rots from the head. That rotty fish head is Phil Spencer. And with Phil Spencer's gaffes and his mess ups, Phil Spencer, when it comes to PlayStation success, this is what we're bringing on him. When it comes to PlayStation success with the PlayStation 4, Phil tried to, on a Kind of Funny interview, Phil tried to say that they lost. The reason why that they can't out console PlayStation is because they lost the worst generation to lose, because people have, games and catalogs and everything is digital now. Look, Donnie D proved Phil wrong before Phil ever tried to run with this shit. The reason why the Xbox One did not have a big backwards compatible program when it launched under Donnie D. You want to know why? Because Donnie D was able to prove that when gamers buy new consoles, they don't play old games. Like when I bought my PlayStation 5, unless the game was like from 2 years ago, I didn't go back and say, oh, I got to play Uncharted 1 again. Like generally, gamers don't play old games. What gamers generally do is they want to play new games. They want to see what the new experiences are on the console. That's why Donnie D never really pursued a big backwards compatible program, where Phil Spencer came in and he made that his focus. He focused so much on older games that he created two consoles in the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S that are nothing more than mid-gen refreshes of last gen. Why do I say that? Because everything that he promised you that the consoles would be able to do were only realized with last gen games. All those promises that they told you about with the Series S and the Series X, the world's most powerful console, and and then the stuff that they had these content creators peddling with the 40 to 50 frame deltas, that was only true with last gen games. Did you guys realize that? So while PlayStation was working on all four cylinders, talking to devs, figuring out how to push the envelope and making games perform better, look better, be better, under Phil Spencer, who was brought in to save Xbox, he makes Xbox about the past, about old games. Xbox was never about the past. Xbox was always about innovating and moving forward. Now that's PlayStation. PlayStation is innovating and moving forward. A lot of people give credit to the new Xbox controller, including myself. As far as the latency is concerned, but I think unanimously this time around, people say the DualSense controller is the most innovative controller out there. You've never heard, like PlayStation was synonymous for games. You've never heard the most innovative anything associated to PlayStation. PlayStation's online used to be dog shit, and Xbox's was superior. By the time we got to the end of last gen, it totally switched. Xbox Live was going down every 5 minutes. Everything that Xbox was known for, PlayStation was doing it better, including Western developed games. The thing that put Xbox on the map. Western developed games were being done better by PlayStation. If that doesn't explain to you, because it just isn't about Phil's failures, in order for you to become the best at something that you were the worst at in one generation, that's a lot of hard work. So that shows you how much hard work PlayStation put into this. But it also shows you how horrible Phil was. So I think the story of the PlayStation 4 generation is PlayStation working its hardest while Xbox was its sloppiest. And to blame it on old games is baloney. You lost because you were no longer forward thinking. You literally designed these two consoles to operate like mid-gen refreshes. Everything that you promised, Series S is a prime example. Everything that you promised with the Series S only applied to last gen games. It was so bad that you had to private your Series S video that you had put out for launch with all of its promises. You had to private that video. The only way to see that video is you go to IGN, because they have it on their page. You got to look at Series S launch video. I downloaded it because they might DMCA them or some shit like that and get them to take it down. I got it downloaded. All right. Let's get ready to close up shop. Let's talk about PlayStation 5 Cold Blood. What are your pros and cons about the PlayStation 5, and what do you want to see from PlayStation's future?
Kind of hard to tell right now.
Okay.
The biggest plus is this is the only console maker that still has shit that is something that people want.
Mm-hmm.
Like the exclusives and stuff.
Yeah.
You do not want a fucking Indiana Jones or a Redfall or something. you want the God of Wars, the Horizons, the Spider-Mans.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's one of your pros. The second pro is if the Pro finally gets its shit together, it's gonna be the most powerful console ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna have the least amount of compromises at that point for this generation. Yes, sure, the standard is gonna have compromises way more than the Pro.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget, you always get a performance mode on a PlayStation. You do not always get a performance mode on an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Avowed now, also 30 FPS.
Yeah.
Looking like an absolute turd. Yo, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I thought Redfall was the last game with 30 FPS. Apparently not.
Nope. Yeah, apparently not.
Since then, the only games that were kind of 60 are only shooters. Why is that? Like, bro, now we get Indiana Jones at 60, I guess. We got Stalker at somewhat 60, not really. So what the fuck? Why is there still games at 30? What are we doing here? So yeah, there is pros to the PlayStation. You don't have to worry, at least from first party wise, that you're not getting a performance mode.
Mm-hmm.
Is it always going to be 60? No, sure not. But it's going to be hella close. And it's going to play much better than a fucking 30 FPS turd.
Yeah.
Those are the cons. Those are the pros right now of the PlayStation. Let's be real. You got, in my opinion, a much better store than the Xbox store. You get probably the best fucking exclusive deals from Sony. Like we are probably on the cusp of getting an exclusive marketing deal with GTA 6.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the actual nuclear fucking rocket.
That's gonna be the nuclear bones, the nuclear bomb on the bones. Yeah.
Like as a PlayStation, bro. No, as a PlayStation gamer, there is way more pros than cons.
Mm-hmm.
Way more pros.
Yeah.
The only con, somewhat, is you have to buy your games, but I hope you do as a PlayStation game, because don't expect PlayStation Premium to be that fucking premium anytime soon, unless they raise the price again. But at that point, I expect them to go day and date with that shit.
Well,
which would completely fuck them up.
I mean, I think it depends on what type of gamer you are. Like,
well, look, if you can afford gaming, PlayStation is the fucking place. Absolutely. No doubt about it. If you cannot afford gaming, then what the fuck are you doing here? Yes, I'm not even giving you the option of Game Pass. The fuck are you doing here? Get out. like, bro, get some fresh air or something. I don't know.
Yeah, go play volleyball or some shit. Go find another hobby. Yeah. I mean, look.
Because it ain't getting cheaper. Not even for the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's only getting more expensive every single year.
Oh, yeah. If you care about gaming in the sense of what gaming traditionally has been, like technology moving your gaming experience forward, if that is at the heart of what you expect from gaming, games getting better, looking better, playing better, you know what I'm saying?
Or downgrading better. How about that?
These are down.
Hey, it ain't a lie right now, right?
What, you mean for PlayStation?
Yep.
Oh, what you think is downgraded?
Well, Avatar, Silent Hill.
Oh, you're talking about for the Pro. Oh, you're talking about for the Pro. Here's my thing with the Pro. I'm not mad that Silent Hill and those games, the PSSR attempts, aren't where they need to be. That's not what's upset me. What's upset me is we should know about this. Like, there's games that right now people are working on that they're dealing with something fucked up about it, and they got to hold off on it. That's my problem, is that it's not that PSSR, we clearly know PSSR works. We know that it can do, wonders and shit like that. Like, that could be that the developers are ignorant about something, but we should know about this. Like, we should have not seen Avatar. We should not have seen Silent Hill. We should, the issues that those updates are having should be under wraps now because they're still being worked on. And Sony should not be saying, oh, it's okay. If you feel like you're ready, then roll it up. No, Sony should be saying, look. Right now, right now, we appreciate your efforts. And we're not going to nitpick this. You know what I'm saying? Like, after the dust is settled, you put some bullshit out here, the gamers will understand that it's bullshit and it's going to hurt you in the long run. But right now, we are rolling this out. You cannot have these lazy ass efforts in here because you want people to now all of a sudden buy your game when they weren't buying it before. And I think classic examples are the two Ubisoft games. The two Ubisoft games are clear examples where all that shimmering and shit is happening because it's a lazy rollout, and Ubisoft is saying, well, you know what? People are buying PlayStation 5 Pros and they're probably buying games that are Pro enhanced. So let's go and just roll this out here. Like, how do you have one game in Callisto Protocol where you're actually giving you an 8K mode, but in this game, in Avatar, which Digital Foundry was all creamy knuckled about, oh, it's so well optimized, it looks like that. It's lazy development. But this is where it's PlayStation's fault and the buck stops with them. Because I see people in my timeline talking about, it's not PlayStation's fault. No, the development ain't PlayStation's fault. The fact it was released is PlayStation. You don't get to take my sticker for my new technology and put it on your game until it comes out right. At least during the launch, it should be that way. So here's what I say. I think PlayStation has a bright future if they do two things. And this is going to get them going cold blood. You do two things. You have a bright future. You guys ready for it? Replace Hiroki Totoki and Herman Hulse. You got a bright future. It said game over at the right time. Replace those two. Hiroki Totoki clearly is the Satya Nadella of PlayStation. He doesn't understand the culture, and he's willing to do bonehead stuff just to pimp off IPs. We see that with Mortrium of whatever the Horizon knockoff. It got Sony's blessing because it's coming to PlayStation 5. Herman Hulst, I'd be willing to give him a further chance, but Yoshida's gone. Like when you're struggling in a position, or you're shaky in a position, having someone that's done it before that maybe just fell back a little bit, having them still around at a capacity to still guide you, that would be different. But Yoshida's retiring, so I don't feel comfortable with Herman Hulse there. But in my opinion, the worst is Hiroki Totoki, because he's going to keep trying to do some things that are going to hurt the brand. And it's not going to hurt the brand where nobody's going to buy PlayStations anymore, like overnight. Like the longer he stays there, the more he creates chink in the armor, because he clearly doesn't get it. So I can guarantee, now again, that's not saying that Hiroki Totoki and Herman Hulse can't get it together, but here's what we're experiencing. And I see it in the chat every day that we bring this subject matter out. Even though Cold Blood has been right, I've been right on these matters. You guys aren't willing to push back enough on them. If Hiroki Totoki and Herman Hulse woke up every morning and said, if we do that, these motherfuckers might hang us from our toes from a bridge. We're not going to do that. They would, some of the shit you wouldn't see, if not all of it. But a lot of you guys are so in tune with, yeah, we want to destroy Xbox. We want Xbox destroyed. We're almost over that cliff. We're about to drag the body. That you guys won't say anything. Go ahead, Cold Blood. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
We don't have enough Omegasdas in this world.
No, yeah, I was stringing them by their toes and hang them over a bridge. Yeah, I did not mean that literally. P.S. I did not mean that literally. Yeah, but you guys are so laser focused on Xbox's carcass being thrown off the cliff. You're just like, just let them, just they'll be all right. No, there are long-term ramifications to this. If you guys started, like Jim Ryan was challenged. So even though he wasn't perfect, he was challenged. Y'all was calling for his head. Why? Because it was the beginning of the generation, and you're like, no, there's no way we're going to lose this. Fire Jim Ryan. You guys were on his head. But you guys are so elated that Xbox bent the knee, and they're just like, you just throw us off the cliff. Just put us out of our misery. You guys are like, no, just let them keep going. No. The PlayStation development teams are so talented. They fill in the gaps for the boneheadedness of Hiroki Totoki and Herman Hulse at times, but they're not going to be able to do it all the time. And the more that they get away with, the more that they're going to try. I can guarantee success if you get rid of them too. But it may not be necessary. They at least have to be put in check. That's what has to happen. But that's our PlayStation celebration show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Geek says, is this fair to say that Sony failed? Oh, hell no. I don't think they failed. How? They failed with the PlayStation 5 generation? Oh, no.
They failed to stop the deal.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah,
That's the only thing they really failed. I mean, Jim Ryan paid for it in the end, but
well,
still,
here's why Jim Ryan paid.
Bro, I think it's gonna have consequences at some point.
I don't think it's gonna have consequences for PlayStation people because, except for ABK games probably getting worse. But I don't think it's going to have consequences for PlayStation people because Xbox can't win as a marketplace. They have to be a publisher. And I'm telling you now, and I can't say much about this. I haven't even talked cold blood about this. I know firsthand that what you see Xbox doing, other publishers are doing. It's what I've told, and I just got confirmation not too long ago. So you guys think we be making this shit up? We're not we're not connected to everybody, but we know our shit. We know what we're talking about, either by experience or by whatever. I'm telling you right now that this direct to consumer publisher push, Xbox ain't the only one pursuing it. You will soon see other publishers pushing for this too. Xbox is not gonna be the only one. So understand that. For those of you that are Xbox zealots that are, lurking and like, oh no, there's still competition going on. It's going to be the handheld wars. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, stop this. Stop. In order for there to be a handheld war that's centered around hardware, the hardware is only as enticing as the marketplace attached to it. The most enticing marketplace right now for AAA genre-defining gaming, which these handhelds are in, is the PlayStation marketplace. You guys understand that, right? Like the PlayStation. I mean, I don't know I don't know if Tencent has a marketplace or if they're just publishing. I don't know what Tencent's all wrapped in Tencent's money-making thing. But PlayStation, opposite of whatever Tencent's doing, PlayStation by far is the biggest marketplace in AAA genre-defining gaming. They make more than Xbox. They make more than Nintendo. They make more than Steam. With Steam's 30 gazillion PC gamers. The PlayStation marketplace is the most powerful marketplace when it comes to AAA gaming on the planet. So I don't care what device you put out there. If your marketplace isn't as strong as this marketplace, then you're not going to sell as many consoles as they sell. That's why I tell you goofs that sit there and say, why everybody talking about console sales? Console sales don't matter. Consoles don't get sold and then sat on the shelf. People buy the consoles to access a marketplace, meaning I'm buying all my games over here and I'm not buying them with you or wherever you're at. That's why console sales matter. The same is going to translate to the handheld. If the handheld that you're talking about does not have the marketplace that they have and their marketplace is more desirable, then question over. They sell more handhelds. It's the same thing. That's why the Steam Deck or whatever ain't touching the Switch. None of them PC, they're not touching. Switch's marketplace is too dominant. Stop it.
Ahmed wants to fight with you.
What'd you say? Yeah, I agree, Michael Moran. They need better quality controls. He said, wow, your new name is Capadonna. How did PlayStation fail though? This is what I'm trying to understand. Bro, PlayStation is selling, do you know in the United States, PlayStation is selling more. They're tracking ahead of their sales 8% than the PlayStation 4. Like, people don't buy consoles and just sit them on the shelf, geek. They're selling more. And I'm not talking about just money, I'm talking about units. They're selling more units of pretty much everything than they sold last generation in the US. I don't know what the numbers are globally, but in the US, their largest market, they're ahead 8%. How can you be ahead 8% and you're failing? I don't understand that concept. How are you ahead 8% and you're failing? You're ahead of the PlayStation 4. In the PlayStation 4 generation, like before, it took you 2 generations to even have any numbers that outpaced the PlayStation 2 generation. Like, you didn't do it with the PlayStation 3. It took you to the PlayStation 4. What numbers am I talking about? And before the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4 had the most consoles sold in 1 year. That was until the PlayStation 5, where they sold more consoles last year than in any single year of the PlayStation 4. I don't, I'm just going off the numbers. How are they failing? I'm trying to figure out what they're failing at. Trunkett says Hiroki Totoki isn't going anywhere. He is the CFO of Sony proper. He split the PlayStation leadership in 2 parts, and he put Herman Hulst, head of studios, and Hideki in charge of PlayStation. What does that mean? What does that mean? He can't be pushed back to just the CFO role? He's doing 2 dual roles. He's acting as CFO of Sony and the chairman of SIE. That's his role. The CEOs of SIE are Nishino and Hulst. He's the chairman of SIE. So he's playing dual roles. He's the chairman of SIE and the CFO of Sony. Right? Who's to say that they don't replace him as the chairman of SIE and they just leave him as CFO of Sony? I don't understand that concept. It's not like it's impossible. Now, I'm not saying he's going to leave, but it's not set up to where he can't. Whenever you add an extra layer of management under you like that, it makes it even easier for you to be replaced. That's how it works in the corporate world. When people don't directly report to you and you got a layer of leadership under you that can manage at least temporarily without you, then you make it easier for you to be replaced. It happens all the time. Like, when they start doing a lot of these layoffs, some of the first people that they come after are these middle of the road managers that they feel like, okay, we can get rid of that layer of reporting because it's just one person and they're making $200,000 a year. Get rid of them and have these 2 people report to the person above them. So with that being the case, he's replaceable. They can replace him. I'm not saying that they will, but the way it's structured, they just made it easier to replace him. They just got to see the necessity to do it. And I think PlayStation right now is looking at everything like, okay, well, we are in a fickle spot. We need to increase our margins, and there's no better person to help us increase our margins with our biggest section of our company than our CFO. Our CFO's our money man. I don't want to bore you guys with the details. Look up the Japanese yen. Look up what's going on. Like Bloomberg has some fantastic videos on what's going on with the yen, how it's affecting Sony, importantly, and it'll help you understand why their CFO is in charge of PlayStation. It'll help you. I understand the logic, because this whole thing with the yen is affecting Sony the most as far as Japanese companies are concerned. There's another chip maker. I forget the name over there in Japan. There's another chip maker. They're getting hit hard, but these huge Japanese companies are getting hit the worst by the actions with the yen, and them in the Bank of Tokyo raising interest rates for the first time in 30 years. I'm not going to bore you with the details. Watch those videos. You'll understand. They really break them down in a very digestible way. But yeah, PlayStation has the CFO in charge because he's the money man, and they want him to scour over the portfolios at PlayStation and figure out ways to make more money through PlayStation, because PlayStation for Sony is the biggest revenue maker. There were reports that they have a lot in property, but I don't know if that's still their biggest revenue maker anymore. I think it's PlayStation, and that's what he's doing. But he's doing it in a way that is not good. Yeah, that's what I understand that. I understand that he was supposed to go for the interim. He ended up staying, and they're splitting the SIE CEOs, but you got to understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because of their fear of margins dropping any further. So they sent the money guy over to look at how they can increase margins. So that's why they didn't get rid of him, because the margins are still a problem. And the biggest indicator, I would assume, on why he's still there is that they didn't sell as many PlayStations as they thought they were originally going to sell. Remember, they thought they were going to sell 24 million, and they ended up selling 20.8 million last year. So their margins again were not as high as they thought they were going to be. So now they're like, okay, we're going to keep the money man here a little bit longer. Sony is in a panic, not because their company is in danger, but they're panicking because of what's happening with the yen. They don't want to look less attractive to investors, so they're in a scramble to get their margins up. Like I said, check out them Bloomberg videos. You'll better understand why they are in this scramble and why Hiroki is there. The problem with Hiroki being there is, even though he is there to increase the margins, you don't increase the margins if you piss off your consumers. You increasing your margins are reliant upon you maintaining your consumers. If you lose your consumers, then your margins don't increase. And that's the risk that I'm saying. If Hiroki Totoki keeps pushing the line too far, he's going to turn off the consumers and they're going to go elsewhere. And people say, well, where are they going to go? Well, I'll tell you this much. Cold-Blooded can confirm this. Let them do day and date PC. Guess where Cold-Blood's going?
Well, not this generation anymore, but definitely next generation. Yeah. When I upgrade my PC. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You're going to see people that say, you know what? If you're putting day and date on PC, why am I even getting a PlayStation? I might as well get a PC because I can get PlayStation games there, and I can get the PC games there, and I'll be able to play the best way. So I ain't gotta, get a pro. I can play with 4090. They're gonna go over there. Guess what happens when they go over there? Not only do you lose 30%, now you got to share 30% of your revenue with PlayStation. I mean, with Steam, because that's where most of these games will be bought. Even if PlayStation opens up their own, and they're not buying, they're going to share 30% with Steam. Not only that, but then you lose all the money on the multiplats. Why? Because even if you do open a store, a PC store, I'm not buying my multiplats from PlayStation. Why? Because I can get a shit ton of codes from Green Man Gaming, from this one, from that one, at a fraction of the cost. You're opening up a Pandora's box by going day and date on PC. That is why there's numbers out there to prove that since 2016, when Xbox started going day and date PC, they had the slowest growth, the slowest revenue growth out of all three, out of them, Nintendo and Xbox. And PlayStation. They've had the slowest percentage of revenue growth out of the three. They didn't alleviate that until they bought ABK. And even if you factor in how much it cost them to buy ABK, you could make arguments that it got even slower. So, yeah, you can't raise profit margins if you lose your consumer base. So it all depends on how much Hiroki Totoki wants to keep pushing the line. PlayStation gamers are not Xbox gamers. You could shit on a stick, put an HDMI port on the stick, and say this is the Xbox Series 2 doo-doo, and y'all buy it. Xbox gamers will buy it. PlayStation gamers, as a matter of fact, a lot of these new PlayStation gamers, because PlayStation from this gen, from last gen, they're saying that they've seen a 20% growth or something like that somewhere. A lot of those are, Xbox gamers. That's like, okay, gig is up. I saw what Crackdown 3 is. I can't cap anymore. I'm out of here. A lot of them have gone over to PlayStation. They already left the doo-doo on the stick. They're not going back. They'll just go to PC. So that's why I say Hiroki may have stayed a little bit longer than we anticipated. There's a reason behind that. To understand the reason, you got to understand what's going on with the yen and completely understand what's going on with their margins. But that doesn't mean he's irreplaceable. Let him do something that tees off the consumer base and they lose sales. He's gone. Jack Tretton, this is what I said. You guys, it would sue you. Look, let me explain something to you guys. Here's why I can make these arguments and they come out right. I listen to everything. I listen to people that I don't even agree with, because everybody got a piece of knowledge somewhere. As long as you're not broomstick and I'm a boob, and yeah, there's going to be the Xbox Exodus when Call of Duty comes. As long as you're not them and you talk about facts, but you just see the facts and what they're going to lead to differently than I do, I'll listen to you. You know what you're talking about. Because those type of people, there's a bunch of them out there, and all of them have a little bit of piece of the truth. But let me tell you something. As an former X-bot, recovering X-bot, there was a Jack Tretton interview that he had with Hip Hop Gamer, where he talked about why Hip Hop Gamer was like, hey, are you ever going back to PlayStation? We would love to see you, And he's like, no, I'm not going back to PlayStation. He said, I left because PlayStation does not appreciate individual contributions. There is only one thing that matters, at Sony when it comes to PlayStation and their employees, and that's you make PlayStation work. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about what you've done. They're not going to pat you on the back. It's what you're supposed to do. Your job, your soul, your entire being is to make PlayStation look good. They don't care about anything else. Jack said that everybody that's at PlayStation is only a cog in a bigger wheel. That's it. That's how the board, the leadership sees you as. Like the most they've celebrated somebody was Jim Ryan. That's the most and I think they only did that because they knew that if they didn't celebrate Jim Ryan that way, that the rumors would have started that he was getting kicked out and PlayStation's in trouble because they see it all over the internet. So they posted him getting a cake and all that shit, right? But at PlayStation, you're just Jack Tritton broke that down. And I paid attention to that interview at the height of me hating PlayStation. So I understand how PlayStation works. I know I talk to people daily that have business ties to PlayStation. They've gone to E3 and had meals with PlayStation with Yoshida. I know people that do business with Sony and PlayStation like that. So I completely understand how PlayStation operates. That they are leaning on Totoki because Totoki is the money guy and they want him to look at the portfolio and see how they can make more money out of their big money maker PlayStation. Are they leaving money on the table? And that's what he's doing. The problem is, this is a delicate process because the PlayStation community is delicate when it comes to their expectations. You fiddle with those expectations, you pull too hard one way or the other, you're going to lose consumers and you're going to end up defeating your purpose. And if that happens, just as Jack Tritton explained, they will toss out the cog, which is Hiroki Totoki, and they'll put somebody back in. This is not Xbox. This is not a Satya Nadella who only 10 years after the fact is now discovering that Phil doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So now he's got to take the keys and he doesn't even know how to drive. He's just realized that this dude drives sideways and on the hood. So he could probably do better than him. This is not Xbox. This is PlayStation, where they use you for what you're good at. And when they're done with you, they toss you away. They're leaning on Hiroki Totoki right now because he's the money guy. They got to handle margins. But as soon as they do what they need to do with him, as far as PlayStation is concerned, they'll toss him away. He'll get replaced on the PlayStation side. Or if he does a horrible job, they might get rid of him altogether. Who knows? All right. We're going to get out of here. But let me end this poll. Okay. So we asked, what was your favorite PlayStation out of the first four? 46% said the PlayStation 2. 20% said the PlayStation 1. 18% said the PlayStation 4. And 15% said the PlayStation 3. I am surprised that the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 are that close. And I'm surprised too. Well, no, not really. Well, no, yeah, I am. I'm surprised that the PlayStation 4 doesn't have a higher percentage, but oh well, that's just me. All right, y'all. With that said, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, Geek, I'm gonna keep record of that we'll do this for the month of December. For every 5 members that are gifted, we'll gift one. We'll do that. Good idea. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here. Till next time. You guys have a wonderful. Thomas Isaac says MM2K Gaming. They are not going to replace Hideki Nishino. No. Thomas, I didn't say Hideki Nishino. I said Hiroki Totoki. Yeah, Hideki is doing a fantastic job. He's the only bright spot out of the 3. You catch that, Thomas? Let me know if you caught that. Hiroki Totoki. Hiroki Totoki is the CFO of Sony, who's been awarded the role as the chairman of SIE. You guys don't pay attention. You might have assumed that I was talking about Nishino because you didn't realize that Hiroki Totoki was still in charge. He's the chairman of SIE, where Nishino and Herman Holst are the CEOs. Let me see here. Do I have that Sony?
Oh, Moss.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that funny that the PC specs came out for Indiana Jones and literally the minimum requirement for full ray tracing is a 4070 with a 3.6 gigahertz CPU. That's literally a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Oh yeah.
God damn. God damn.
They ain't hiding it, bro. They ain't hiding it.
What?
They are not hiding it.
No, but this is legit the PS5 Pro specs right here. And if they actually can implement the damn PSSR well, then it's gonna run 60 with full ray tracing.
All right, I found it. Here we go. All right. Hey, Thomas, this is why we do what we do. You're not going to get this anywhere else. This is why we focus on these smaller details in case you guys missed it. We don't just do console wars or fanboy stuff. So in case you guys missed it, here it goes. It says, effective June 1st, 2024, Hidoki Nishino will be appointed CEO of SIE's platform business. Herman Holst will be appointed CEO of SIE's studio business. And Hiroki Totoki, who has been serving as interim CEO, will serve as chairman of SIE, in addition to his role as COO and CFO of Sony Corporation Group. So no, really, I missed that part. This motherfucker, he got 4 roles. He's the chief operating officer and the chief financial officer. So he has 4 roles. So Hiroki Totoki, Herman Holst and Hidoki Nishino, they both report to Hiroki Totoki. It says Nishino and Holst, right here. It says Nishino and Holst will report to Totoki. You see that, Thomas?
Bro, they don't want to believe the truth.
I'm gonna give Thomas the benefit of the doubt. That other dude that we had to get rid of, he was clearly trolling, and I don't even know if he knows how to read. Maybe Thomas just didn't catch it. And I know a lot of these other shows that you guys watch, they're just worried about the debate. We're trying to inform gamers. So just so you're aware, that's what's going on. Totoki is the chairman of SIE. So he was bumped up and they created a new role for him. And Nishino and Holst, the CEO responsibilities were split. We do the research here, man. We listen and we do the research here. So in case you guys didn't know, Hiroki Totoki is still around. He is in charge. And Nishino and Holst are reporting to him. So on various things that are happening, he still has the final say. No, thank you, Trucknet. No, but I do this for you guys. I want you guys to be informed. We ain't got to always agree, but I want you guys to be informed. If you look at this, here's my thing, Trucknet. If you look at the same thing I'm looking at, and we're debating this and you're citing facts, my job is done. Because we can look at the same information and gather two totally different conclusions on how this is going to end up. Now, what Cold Blood and I often do is we understand the patterns that things fall into. So we tell you, Concord is not going to be successful. Lego Horizon is going to be a problem, blah, blah, because we understand the patterns and we see where this is going to, and that's where we have the debate at. We're willing to debate y'all as long as we're looking at facts and we're making conclusions based off of facts. Where I'm not willing to debate, or where at best I will clown you, is if you're trying to debate off of misinformation. You don't know what you're talking about, and I'm telling you, whoa, wait. You might want to check that again. Oh, no. Jack Tritton is still at PlayStation. Oh, no. Uncharted 2 is on Xbox yesterday. Oh, no. You come in here and you start talking crazy stuff, I'm going to clown you. Or at the very worst, if you're just trying to troll, you don't get to take up our spotlight. I'll put your ass out. He says, I don't think they're going to replace Hiroki Totoki. I mean, I don't know if they will. This is what I
should.
Yeah, I agree. I'm telling you, they will if what he does ends up damaging PlayStation. Like, if these initiatives that he's doing blow back on him, he's not going to stay there at that role. They may still keep him as COO. They may still keep him as CFO, but he won't be chairman of SIE anymore. They'll give that role to somebody else. They would be willing to replace Hiroki. Now, Nishino is doing it. He, out of the three, he's the only one I believe in. And I say this, even though he's the hardware guy, the studios and the relationships are still under Herman Holst. So these studios that are coming with these effed up pro enhancements, I blame that on Herman Holst, because Nishino just puts the shit together. And what he's put together is amazing. Like these 4 or 5 games that have bad PSSR implementation, it's going to happen. The problem isn't that these games aren't working with PSSR, because we don't know how lazy the development of the patches. And look at who we're talking about. 2 of them is coming from the most repulsive, and it pains me to say this, but this generation, this is what they've turned into. One of the most repulsive publishers out there in Ubisoft. One of their investors has accused them. They want them to be investigated. They've accused Ubisoft of purposely putting out mundane and underwhelming product so their stock price can go down, so them and Tencent can buy it up and go private. They're saying purposely they're doing this, and they're doing it purposely because they're living off the DLC and the other money that their games make that the goofy investors aren't looking at. This company that used to be invested in Activision Blizzard, they said, hold on, let's take a look at what's going on with Ubisoft. And they invested in them on purpose so they can see the internal documentation. And then they reported it and said, look, they said that Ubisoft is holding gamers and shareholders hostage to suffice the investors. There's a difference between shareholders and investors. I can privately invest in the company and not be a public shareholder. So these private investors are getting money hand over fist. Meanwhile, the stock price is dropping because these games are getting lukewarm reception. And Tencent is grinning ear to ear. Why? Because Tencent and Ubisoft want to buy the company back from everybody and take it private. That is one of the most repulsive things I've heard of from a publisher, next to what the shit Bobby Kotick used to do. So you're telling me that publisher all of a sudden got 2 patches that are dog shit, and it's PlayStation's fault. It's the PlayStation 5 Pros for fuck no. So then you got Dragon's Dogma, you got Silent Hill 2, and then there's one more game. I'm not quite sure what the third game. Oh, Jedi Survivor. Okay, Jedi Survivor has had problems throughout its whole existence. Dragon's Dogma 2, need I say more? And Dragon's Dogma 2 issues aren't that paramount, but they still exist. Need I say more? Just look at the history of Dragon's Dogma 2. That leaves Silent Hill 2. I don't know what the issue is with Silent Hill 2. You see what I'm saying? You see how, I don't blame the hardware. The problem is that we even know about this. None of those games, I would say, I don't know, maybe Dragon's Dogma 2, probably. I can see why you would risk it with Dragon's Dogma 2. But those other games should have never even came out. Never. You could have lived with, there's this weird shimmering on Dragon's Dogma 2, because everything else about it, there's weird shimmering in certain places. Because I think that performance mode in Dragon's Dogma 2 on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I think they said that looks pretty much good. And then you want to show Dragon's Dogma 2 running at high performance, because that gives more people confidence in your console, and they'll get it because in prime for GTA 6. So I can get Dragon's Dogma 2, but that should have been it. We should not know about the problems that they're having with these other 4 games. Why, when you got like 50 or 60 plus games, why was it so important to have these 4 games? 2 of these games are stinkers. Nobody's buying Avatar. Star Wars Outlaws is done, son. It's done. So why even risk it with those 2? I would have told the other 4 to fly a kite into a thunderstorm. Well, I wouldn't have said that. I would have said, we get it. We appreciate it. Just hold your enthusiasm. We still got a little bit of work to do. We're sending out engineers. That's what I would have done. There's no way. You guys understand how this benefits all of us. If the PlayStation 5 Pro is perceived to be a phenomenal tech device, then yes, it brings light to your games. Maybe Star Wars Outlaws sells another million because people want to buy it now that it's Pro enhanced. So this Pro enhancement is important. The old PlayStation would have done that before the Hiroki Totoki era. They would have done that. How do I know that? I sat on a fucking podcast with the creator of God of War, and he broke this all down for us. They did it with Callisto Protocol. That's probably why Callisto Protocol is so fantastic. And then now it's doing 8K. Because before the Totoki era, when they were having problems with it, they sent engineers out. Now it's like all the extra stuff that made you PlayStation, it's slowly but surely fading away under Totoki. Let that happen too much. Let that happen too much, Totoki won't be there, trust me. Now, he might still be CFO, he might still be COO, but he won't be the chairman. I can guarantee that. And if you don't believe me, look for interview. That's why I said research is important. Look for interview Jack Trenton, hip hop gamer. He says it in like the last 10 minutes. Go to the last 10 minutes of the interview. Listen, and you'll understand why. So, all right, y'all. I am out of here. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. That's our PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 30th anniversary podcast. At least we thought it was important enough to do a podcast. I don't know what the hell PlayStation's doing. What, they're gonna give you a skin and shit? They're gonna give you a Concord skin? I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. Whatever. We're out of here. Right. We'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Oh yeah, wait. One more thing. For those guys in the chat that said one more showcase is coming this year, your time is ticking. I'm telling you.
I will not be able to contain. If there is no showcase, y'all better not show up. I will not be able to contain this man. Y'all better not show up that day. If it's confirmed, if December ticks away and there is no showcase, my God. All right, let me get out. Let's get out of here, y'all. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.